Okay, so this is part 2 of Justice League.
You'll see my worth again.
Do you know what I find amazing about his armor? Is that it reflects the light whenever it moves. This is such intricate details, and it's just beautiful. The VFX teams were fucking badasses with the CGI in this movie. It's just incredible.
I spent a lot of time trying to divide us.
I do
I
love
need to bring us together.
Batman's
right.
arc. We're seeing that he is indeed affected by what he's done, and he's trying to make up for it. I'm assuming this, like, what Hippolyta's wearing is just, like, ceremonial clothing, but it's gorgeous, of course. You know, I've heard people complain about, oh, why do they have more modern technology? Why does Amazons have such, primitive, they warn Diana with an arrow. They don't like men. And so do you really think that they're gonna try to take on or try to adapt their technology? I do feel like it's kind of very more like stubborn. They just don't want to, they don't want man's world to impact their island. And it's just, they're from an ancient society. And so they're gonna keep their old ways and everything like that. I think for like the Atlanteans that, came from a more advanced society, this society comes from a more ancient society. I think those are interesting, comparisons. Beautiful music, of course. Oh, that's beautiful.
C'est officiel. J'arrête l'archéologie et j'entre.
So, I can't remember. Is she an art restorer, or is she like a sculptist or what? So, is this magic fire? Does it do actually any harm or burn anything like that, or is it just, there to as maybe like a warning? Because it doesn't look like it is destroying anything. What I do kind of like is that we see the government's reaction to exposure to like aliens, and it's to quarantine them from possible exposure to, biologicals. Then we got these other, Batman, Superman, and all of them. They're fighting aliens and don't think much of it, and they go back to society, don't think much of it. And so I do think it's kind of interesting to see the two different ways, like the humans work, the human governments work, and then the Justice League. I've heard people talk about how the police don't do anything, they just let her in. Pretty sure she just sneaked in because she's able to fucking get into like the bat cave without any thoughts. It's interesting because it does kind of seem like they did leave warnings about what happened and all that, but humans no doubt just figured that, hey, they're just myths. Look, man, he just does no shits about anything. Just gonna throw this man on the table and demand alcohol.
Of me.
I joked about this with my brother, and I've actually seen people comment online about how Aquaman, he'll just wear clothes and then just so he can, take off his shirt. Because he saves the guy, but he's in his clothes, and then he'll go and dive back into the sea and just take off his clothes. It's just such a funny. It's just like a trait of his. I mean, obviously, he probably does it so that he can move faster in the water, but...
Bob, talk to King Orm.
Your brother.
Half-brother.
He's trying to fan the
So,
flames of war with the
Volko taught
surface.
him...
He lies.
Volko taught him everything he knows, based from Aquaman. He taught him everything he knows about being, using his powers. But now he seems to be having a falling out. And the other one, in Aquaman, he blames Atlantis for his mother's death. In this one, he seems to blame his mother. So, does he know that she's dead? Does she think that she just abandoned him and is just in the kingdom? And then later on, they find out that Atlantis killed her, which creates a rift between Volko and him. I do like how we actually see how he gets its armor. It's from, Volko.
They're a primitive species, unevolved and at war with one another, too separate to be one.
I do like how that's kind of the reason why they came here, because it's because of humanity reaction to Superman and the vision, their inability to trust, especially when it comes to Lex Luthor, that created Doomsday to kill Superman, which awoke the boxes, which alerted I guess I'll just say new gods whenever I refer to them. They alert the new gods to Earth's vulnerability. I do think I love how it keeps building on each other. These, Man of Steel, BVS, and now Justice League, they're building on each other.
I paid millions of dollars for this building's security.
You got your money's worth. Took me almost a minute to disable it.
I love Wonder Woman discounts it whenever she wants. I love how Ares just gives Axe to Zeus to hold until he puts his helmet on. I do love how all their arms are glowing. It kind of really makes us realize that they're gods.
Atlanteans, before their descent into the sea.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. This is Atlanteans before they went to the sea.
Ends from the stars. Their histories.
I do like their hairstyles in this scene.
Indestructible living machines. Made from a science so advanced, it looks like sorcery.
So did they create this, or did they find it and worship it as maybe like a god or something?
Become servants of dark.
I love how there's so much diversity
alive,
in the humans.
But drained of life.
Like
Paradise.
warriors from all cultures. The cars, it's the Amazons that start the fight. Feels very much like Lord of the Rings. God, I love the Greek gods. People say that, they're bummed out that the lantern was so easily taken out, but then someone commented about how the lantern didn't have enough will to fight. I can't remember. Younger Darkseid is calling that. I was like, wow, that's actually really cool. If the lantern wasn't able to defeat him because he didn't have enough will, hence he wasn't strong enough. So I did think that. But as Artemis in this fucking movie is just fucking so hot. I love it. See, people said that, Ares should have gone for the head. When it's plainly obvious, he wasn't going for the head, he was going for the weapon, trying to break it, and he was so powerful that he broke the weapon and hit him in the shoulder as well. And that's when they start dragging him away, while Ares is just taking out everyone else. I do love how Artemis is fighting alongside the Amazons, because Artemis is traditionally the goddess of the Amazons, And so I'm kind of wondering if that's why Artemis is there and the Amazons are there, because they're both, you know, I mean, technically Artemis is the Amazons' god.
In their retreat, the boxes were left behind.
I do love that we get some of the Amazons that we've known from modern day in the past. I still love how the
Anonymous
fucking Greek goddesses are so fucking big.
The defenders of Earth.
It's so great seeing Robin right back, even for a little bit. Yeah, of course, Ben's situation, just bury it in the middle of nowhere. Well, I guess it's better than like Lord of the Rings, where men just took the 7 rings because they were tempted. Okay, so that was the end of part 2. Yeah, I mean, I still enjoy it. Of course, the part I enjoyed the most was the one with the, you know, the ancient battle. I love all I love like all these different beings come together. The Greek goddesses. I've always loved learning about Greek mythology, so I already loved them to begin with. But Zack kind of took it to another level because they're so fucking badass in this scene. And then the Amazons, of course, Atlanteans. It is kind of interesting to see before they became what we now know them as, what they were like, and then we get, of course, humanity. And I love how it's so diverse to reflect how so many cultures went into all the different cultures that fought for Earth. Yeah, you know what I loved about like the fight scene? There was Artemis, and I think I missed it. It was like probably a blink and you missed the scene, but there's this scene where she's shooting an arrow, but in her other hand she's holding another arrow while she's holding the bow and shooting, obviously to make it faster so she can shoot it faster. But I just love that fucking touch because it makes her look so fucking badass. But also, I believe it's based on a painting, an actual painting of Meryl, where there was a female warrior who was shooting it, and she was holding an arrow in one hand while she was holding the bow, and while she was shooting. And I do love how Zack is so, you know, he's so interested in art, you know, actual art history, and we get to see those in his movies, and how he kind of pays ode to them, and it's just fucking gorgeous. I love Zack so much. But yeah, that was kind of my favorite part of this part. So yeah, so the next part, I believe it's Beloved Mother, Beloved Son, and so this should be kind of heartbreaking, so let's just get right on into the next one.